Welcome to Lesson 1 of the Git and GitHub Beginner's Guide. By the end of the next few minutes, you'll have a real working repository sitting on your laptop. The plan is simple. Make a folder, run 3 commands, init, add, and commit, and you're done. But we're not just going to type them and move on. We'll look at what each one actually does, because once you understand this little 3-step ritual, you'll be using it for the rest of your career. So here's where we're headed. 4 concrete skills. First, you'll initialize a repo with Git in it, which quietly creates that hidden .git folder that holds all the magic. Then you'll stage changes with git add. Think of staging as a cue for what goes into your next snapshot. After that, you'll write a real commit, a permanent signed snapshot of your work. And finally, you'll read Git status fluently. That's your dashboard, and you'll run it constantly. Let's actually do it. We make a folder, step inside, and run Git in it. And Git quietly sets up shop with that .git directory. We write a tiny readme, then ask Git status, and Git tells us it sees an untracked file. We stage it with git add, commit it with a message, and boom, #9f3a821, your first snapshot. That's the whole ritual. Folder, init, edit, status, add, commit. You'll type these exact lines for years. So, what actually happened under the hood? Your README took a little 3-stop journey. It was born in the working directory. That's just your folder where you edit files like normal. The moment you ran git add, it moved into the staging area, a kind of waiting room where you decide what belongs in the next snapshot. Then git commit pushed it into the repository itself, into Git, where it lives forever as that little hash. Working directory, staging, repo. That's the mental model behind every Git command you'll ever run. Now that you know those 3 zones exist, here's the one command that tells you which zone everything is in. Git status. Run it constantly, before every add, before every commit, before every push. It's completely free, it changes nothing, and it shows you exactly where you stand. Clean, untracked, staged, or modified. Honestly, this single habit prevents about 90% of the Git mistakes beginners make. Once you've checked status and you're ready to commit, the next trap is the message itself. Fix, stuff, ASDF, final v3, we've all written them, and future you will hate present you for it. The fix is a tiny convention. Start with a type like feat, fix, docs, or refactor, then a short verb-led description of what changed and why. It takes 5 extra seconds and instantly makes your history readable, to your teammates and to yourself 6 months from now. Now, before you commit anything, you need to tell Git what to ignore, because some files should never end up in your repo. Secrets like .env files or API keys, because once committed, they live in history forever. Huge folders like node modules or venv, because they're regenerable and just bloat your clones. Build outputs like dist or log files, and personal IDE config like .vscode or .dsstore. The gitignore file is just a plain list that tells Git, pretend these don't exist. Once you've got the basics down, here are 6 shortcuts that'll make you feel fluent. Commit-am stages and commits tracked files in one shot. Status-s gives you a compact view. Add-p lets you stage just parts of a file, surgical, not sloppy. Commit-amend fixes your last commit when you forgot something. Log-online collapses history into a scannable list. And diff-staged shows exactly what's about to ship. Run that one before every commit. It's the senior habit. So here's your full Lesson 1 cheat sheet. 12 patterns all on one screen. Init to start, status to check, add to stage, commit to save, and a few power moves around the edges. Screenshot this, print it, tape it next to your monitor. These 12 commands really are about 90% of what you'll type day to day for the rest of your career. Now, before you go off and start your first repo, let's talk about the 5 mistakes every beginner makes, so you can skip them. Number 1, running git init in your home folder by accident, which turns your entire system into a repo. 2. Committing without checking what's staged, so debug code sneaks in. 3. Lazy commit messages like ASDF or fix that future you will hate. 4. Forgetting to set your name and email so commits show up as unknown. And 5. Committing secrets or massive folders like node modules. Once it's in Git history, it's painful to remove. Add a git ignore before your first commit, not after. All right, time to actually do this. 3 quick exercises, real terminal, real repo. First, build a fresh practice repo from scratch. Init, readme, git ignore, stage, commit. Second, edit that readme and compare git diff with and without the staged flag. Those 2 diffs answer different questions, and seeing it once makes it click forever. Third, try git commit. Amend to fold a forgotten file into your last commit, like it never happened. Don't just watch this. Pause, open a terminal, and type. Muscle memory is the whole point. And that's lesson 1 in the books. You can spin up a repo, stage your work, write commits that future you will actually thank you for, and keep junk out of your history from day 0. That's a real foundation. Next up, status, diff, and log. The 3 commands you'll lean on more than any others. The ones that answer, what changed, what staged, and how did we get here? See you in lesson 2.